This news we're getting today for Tesla could turn out to be shockingly good news that is a game changer for your investment in Tesla stock. We're going to break it down exactly why this could be important and what to be watching out for. On top of that, we have a lot of other breaking news for Tesla stock to get into, and it looks like the markets may have just confirmed a much larger rally from here. I know that's going to make the bulls happy. That's going to make the bears pretty sad. We'll break it down here in this video. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. All three of those things are free 99. If you would like to take it a step further and come trade with us live in real time, I send out all of my notifications, including an earnings trade here today. Link down below in the description of this video. Come join us, come ask questions, come learn, come grow. We welcome everyone with open arms. There's no such thing as a dumb or stupid question, no matter what your skill level is or experience level. Again, we will welcome you with open arms. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started with the shockingly good news for Tesla stock investors today. Now, if this news does not get you excited, then maybe Tesla is not the investment for you, because this is huge. The Indian government is actively working to streamline approvals for Elon Musk's Tesla to make potential entry into the country, aiming to have all necessary clearances in place by January 2024. This is not exactly breaking news. We've known that Tesla has been trying to expand into India. We know India has been trying to get Tesla to expand into India and wants Tesla to build a factory. There's one major problem, though. It is the import duty structure. Tesla had previously requested a 40% import duty on fully assembled electric cars, in contrast to the existing rates of 60% for vehicles priced below $40,000 and 100% for those priced above that threshold. Tesla has sought a 40% import duty on fully assembled electric cars, aiming to distinguish its vehicles as electric and not luxury cars. India's customs duty system treats electric cars and hydrocarbon-powered vehicles equally, imposing substantial tariffs to promote domestic manufacturing. To address this issue, there is consideration of introducing a new import policy category that would lead to lower taxation for environmentally friendly vehicles, which that does fit Tesla perfectly. And let's be honest, if India wants Tesla to build their next factory in India, obviously after Mexico, they're going to have to make a sweet deal for Tesla. 40% taxes, that's not even going to cut it. Back on August 3rd, 2023, so just a couple of months ago, we did get the first commitments in India from Tesla. It's not a huge one, but it's something. Tesla signed a 5-year lease for the first office space in that country in Pune, India. This is an office lease that is almost 6,000 square feet. The lease will start on October 1st, so it is already started. It will be 5 years with the option to extend that another 5 years. So obviously anything can happen, but if Tesla does work out a sweet deal with the Indian government to build a factory in India and to dramatically lower those tariffs for Tesla, that's going to open up a huge market. And Tesla probably would have a production problem at that point. They probably couldn't crank out vehicles fast enough. India is a rapidly developing country, especially in the more city areas of India, and they are a big fan of clean energy whenever they can. So I think Teslas would be pretty popular, especially at that lower end price point. That's really where that $27,000 Tesla, $25,000 Tesla could be a big seller. India would be a huge market for that. The second piece of really good news today for Tesla is your weekly insured vehicle units coming out of China. You hit 14,000. This is the highest since the last week in August. You have not been over 14,000 for any given week since August 21st through August 27th. Last year's total was 11,195 for the 44th week of 2022. So that is a big jump, bringing your total delivery number to 478,974 in 2023. That beats out 2022's number of 440,793. So this is much better than expectations, and I would imagine the Model 3 is going over very well in China, because this is the first full week of Model 3 deliveries in China, at least the Highland. As Tesla Chan notes, China initiated the upgraded Model 3 deliveries in China on October 26th. Tesla China has also confirmed that the Model Y price hike plan is true. This says on November 7th, Tesla responded to the Interface News that it was planning to raise product prices, saying the news was true. Tesla said it plans to adjust the price of the Model Y's other models after raising the price by 14,000 won on October 27th. That was that almost $2,000 price hike that we seen couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago or so. The Model Y has completed an evolutionary upgrade of its full range of models on October 1st. So this is bullish for demand, or at least a good sign demand is strong in China, and it's also bullish for Tesla's fundamentals. Troy Teslike says pre-announcing an upcoming price hike would increase sales before that. Also, private dealerships in China, known as scalpers, buy new Teslas to resell them when the price is higher. This would encourage them to buy too. This looks like a calculated move. Apparently, GenX Power had a fire where they have quite a few Tesla mega packs. This is Queensland Bouldercombe battery fire initiated on the grid side, not within the mega pack, a new analysis finds. This is over in Australia and is great news for you as a Tesla stock investor. Energy is now the most profitable segment of Tesla's business. Besides FSD software, we don't exactly get disclosed what those numbers look like on any given earnings. So as of right now, energy is the most profitable business. You don't want to see a problem there, or we would have some problems on our hands. And it looks like Tesla will raise the price of the long-range versions of the Model 3 and the Model Y in China on Thursday, November 9th. Tesla Chan quotes local media as spreading this narrative. That's great. Again, Wall Street doesn't pay attention to what's going on in China or what's going to be happening in China. Wall Street reacts after the fact. So coming on Thursday, like 2 days from now, Wall Street's going to say, wow, we got a surprise price raise in China, whereas we knew about this today. So I'm actually potentially looking at making a trade on Tesla based on some of this information and what we're going to get into here in a few minutes, where it looks like the markets have confirmed an even broader market rally. Tesla stock again had a pretty rough day in the beginning of trading. As you can see from the wick, you fell to a low of about $215 per share. Currently, you're at $220.60 with a lot of volume and a lot of activity around Tesla stock. You are above your 200-day moving average at $219.87. Call it around $220. If you do end the trading day above 220, that's going to be insanely bullish. But it looks like to me, Tesla is actually lagging the NASDAQ here. If you're looking at the triple Qs, this is probably the most important technical chart you need to have on your chart right now. It's the downtrending line of resistance and the downtrending line of support. Pretty simple. Well, what happened today? You confirmed a bullish rally, probably breaking out to new highs of this cycle. I mean, let's be honest. You could at least rally to the highs that you've seen in July, if not potentially higher than that. Which that, just to get back to those levels, would be like $14 higher on the triple Qs. You could probably make your way to the $400 level. Retest all-time highs on the triple Qs. Based on this strong of a breakout above this downtrending line, just look at it. It's picture perfect. You found resistance yesterday at this line, right on cue. You closed right under it. Today, well, you gapped right above. You came down in the beginning of the trading day. You tested this line, found it perfectly as support, and then you have rallied throughout the day today. I mean, if that's not a perfect break, I don't know what else is. So if you're a bear in this market, like I've been saying, I'm not exactly the most bullish individual. I do think a recession is coming in some point in 2024. And in some point in 2024, it's going to pay to have some puts on your portfolio. That's for sure. At least my personal opinion. But right now, especially after this break, you don't want to be bearish. Like I said, I think Tesla is lagging behind the markets, like the triple Qs. And I do think if we actually get that price hike for the Model 3 and the Model Y in China on this Thursday, 2 days from now, Wall Street is probably not going to price that in until it actually happens. So that could make Thursday a very big move. Tomorrow is going to be important because of Fed Jerome Powell, and we'll highlight that a little bit more in the next video. But Thursday could shape up to be a big gainer for Tesla stock. Taking a look at the option activity here today, it is again another pretty bullish day for Tesla. You have seen 425 orders totaling $79.09 million with a positive order value of 57%. Once markets close, once you get like into the evening hours, you get the final numbers. So I'm very interested to see what those are, given the massive breakout, massive significance of that breakout on the QQQs and the support you're holding at that 200-day moving average for Tesla. I want to see how people are positioning in the option activity here today. And I think you guys should too. So make sure you're joining us tonight at 9 p.m. for that late night video. Tesla continues to have a massive short position on the stock. About $18 billion worth. This is over 2.3% of the total short interest for the entire stock market. And that's because Tesla's been lowering prices. They've been cutting prices. Their margins have been getting destroyed because Tesla wants to keep their market share. They want to get more people into Teslas. Long term, that's a great strategy. In the short term, that encourages investors shorting your stock. Because what are the chances you start to raise prices after you've been cutting prices multiple times, like 30-40% within the past 2 years on some variants? Well, pretty high, pretty strong chance you're going to cut prices again. That's why I think price increases from here could be pretty important. Fundamentally, it makes Tesla a more attractive company to own, and it also starts to prove the shorts wrong. On another note, Roland Percher over on X is sharing this chart of Tesla sales in Italy per quarter, and Q4 is off to a very strong start. Q4 is also typically the strongest quarter for Tesla's business, and it also tends to be one of the strongest quarters for Tesla's stock. That is, after all, when you hit your all-time high, that was in November of 2021. And then even going back, before then, the stock did very well in Q4 2020. So there is a precedence of doing well during Q4, besides the last Q4 that we had, and that was in 2022. And the markets were not in a great place, and Elon was selling a lot of stock to buy Twitter, and there was a lot of egregious concerns over Tesla. And that's why that will probably be looked back as one of the best buying opportunities you have ever had in Tesla stock. Now, I did share this news also yesterday that you can play Grand Theft Auto 5 on your Tesla Model S. You can as well on the X, and Tesla does comment to this post that they retweeted. This says also immersive sound and comfy seats, and Tesla Economics put together a little clip of different games being played on the screen, and really I think this is something that should be highlighted for prospective buyers. I mean, what's not to like there? Name me another car that you can do this with. That is something that people should know about that they don't know about. A beautiful new Tesla showroom/service center coming outside Detroit. 54,000 square feet to be completed around July 2024. I'm from Michigan. Born and raised, I was raised in Flint, Michigan. And there's nothing like this, like anywhere close to where I currently live. Like, it's not even close. Detroit is okay, but at least it's something, because you have to travel far and wide to go to a service center. If you want to get a Tesla shipped, I had to drive to Ohio to pick up my Tesla. This article tries to claim that the true cost of owning an EV is $17.33 a gallon. Come to find out, this study was conducted by a foundation that is funded by Chevron and Exxon. So that makes a lot of sense. Lucid and Rivian report their earnings today. Sawyer Merritt thinks Lucid will drop their 10,000 unit production guidance for 2023. And I would imagine that's the case. Lucid's probably not going to do well. I expect Rivian's probably going to do well. Although I don't want to own either of them for the long term at current valuations. I wouldn't touch Lucid with a 10-foot pole. I would strongly consider buying Rivian if the price got to a ridiculous level. I mean, I would buy Rivian. The brand, product, it's great. Lucid, not so much. Tesla Europe posted on their X account that our Powerwall fleet in Europe has just surpassed 1 gigawatt hours. This is enough stored energy to power an average of 41,000 homes for 12 hours straight. And look at this. Venetican Resort, Las Vegas, not sure if I'm saying that right, is giving away a Tesla Model 3 or $25,000 in cash to one of their 98 team members. So lucky you if you do end up winning that Model 3. And Rimac sets a world record by driving their EV backwards at 171 miles per hour. That's actually insane. 10-year Treasury yields today are dropping almost 11 basis points. That is helping to fuel much of the rally that you are seeing in our markets. So the big story of today was really Fed speakers. That's going to be the big story of tomorrow as well. And I think that's why this rally is being confirmed today, because we're not hearing anything that is too negative coming from Fed officials. Now, the Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari says officials have yet to win the fight against inflation. That is the most bearish thing that you have heard from a Fed official in literally weeks. Whereas Fed Goolsbee, which is a voter of the Fed currently, says he sees a golden path of a huge drop in inflation without a recession that is still possible. He says, quote, unusually for a soft landing of this magnitude, there has never been an inflation rate drop to get inflation down as much as we're getting it down without a big recession. That's basically never happened. Let's shoot to try to manage that. So it seems like at this point, most Fed officials are saying the economy is what they want to focus on now. They want to make sure we can get inflation down, not cut rates to 0 or cut rates anytime maybe quickly to 2 or 3 or even 4%. But they're saying, hey, we've mostly conquered inflation. If we want to get the soft landing right, then we have to start dialing back now, because these things work with a lag. By the time you know that, hey, you're heading into a recession, most of the time when you're declared in a recession, you've already been in a recession 5 or 6 months. Or even if you get that first quarter of negative GDP, you were already in a negative GDP environment for 3 or 4 months by the time you get that report. So it's very backwards looking data. Fed Goldsby did cite a lot of sources they use for current day-to-day data, including a lot of your job companies, like online, like a ZipRecruiter, or what are the other ones? Other job websites that will post their new job listings and aggregate some of that data. That's what they're looking at. And Fed Goldsby specifically said, we're seeing great signs in that area, which you could also explain some of this recent bullishness in our markets with the inversion of the 2 and the 10-year yield curve. The inversion itself is actually pretty dang bullish. When you are negative, that tends to be pretty bullish, at least not a terrible thing. When you actually go positive, break above this black line, you tend to see a recession is right around the corner. Now, just as of recently, the end of October, October 30th, you were only inverted about 15 basis points. At one point, you were inverted over 1%. Today, you're inverted 0.26%. So you have inverted again about 10 or 11 basis points or so in the past about 10 days. Markets are looking at that as very positive, and that could help explain some of the rally we're seeing. Basically, the longer it takes for you to go above this black line, well, maybe the more delayed a recession is going to be, or ultimately the odds of a soft landing would likely go up as well. Every single time you have seen a recession, well, you've seen the yield curve uninvert within months, and then you actually go into a recession. You can see that very clear here. You rapidly uninvert, recession. Rapidly uninvert, recession. Rapidly uninvert, recession. Even back here in 2019, you briefly inverted in August. By March, you were in a recession. The Rona caused that, but bonds at the time, well, they knew something stock investors did not. It looks like inventory numbers for the Model Y, the Model 3, the S, and the X continue to fall here today. The most recent AI investor sentiment, this is a survey that has been going for over 50 years now. As of November 1st, about 50% of investors were bearish, 25% were neutral, and about 24% were bullish. So you do have a lot of bears out there, and I think the bears are getting proven wrong literally as we speak. I know you guys have heard the saying, don't fight the Fed. Everyone fought the Fed, even including myself, on the way down, which hindsight's 2020, obviously I shouldn't have done that. Most people shouldn't have fought the Fed. You should have sold everything at the end of 2021. That would have been by far the best move to do or to make. Hindsight's 2020. You really don't want to fight the Fed on the way up. You don't want to fight them on the way down, but now the Fed is letting the markets go up, so you don't want to fight that. Simple as that. And last but not least, taking a look at Google Trends data. Everything's pretty mellowed out. You're just baselined here. You're still elevated really throughout all of 2023 for the Model 3 and the Model Y. Much higher than where you were last Q4 of 2022, where search trend volumes were way, way lower. So I'm sure that's going to have a positive effect on this Q4. We'll see. Usually Q4 can be pretty good for Tesla, and that is why I did just make a trade on Tesla stock. So if you guys want to see that, check out the link down below in the description of this video. We have a lot to cover at 9 p.m. tonight, so stay tuned. If you didn't catch something here, you're curious on what's going to be happening in the markets tomorrow, you're bullish, you're bearish, whatever the case is, make sure you guys join us at 9 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for watching, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. It's free 99. Share this video with a friend, a buddy, a pal that needs to hear it. As well as that, my name is Michael Tyler. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.